Welcome to the first week of our series on understanding research literature and refining your own research papers. This week, we will focus on the idea that scholarship is a conversation. You are working on becoming an expert in your field, and in order to do that, you need to be able to understand the literature of your field. You need to be able to critically evaluate the contributions of previous literature and identify what contributions research has made to disciplinary knowledge. Overall, you should recognize that you are entering an ongoing conversation that is already taking place in your research area. Let's do a quick recap of the kinds of information resources you are likely to encounter. The most common resource is the primary research article. This is your average scholarly article authored by an expert in the field and reviewed by their peers. The research in it is original research with plenty of evidence. You may also find review articles. These are articles that do not provide primary original research, but rather attempt to do a complete review of an entire subfield. These are like literature reviews on steroids. If you can find a review article related to your topic, it is worth its weight in gold. Policy briefs are concise summaries of a particular issue that include options for solutions and a final recommendation. These are directed at policymakers. You may also need to look for primary sources, government information, or legislative materials. Those are special cases that we won't delve into here. You might be wondering, what is the best way to read a scholarly article? How do you extract what you need from an article for a literature review? Let's start with what not to do. Try not to read an article without reflection or to read it like a textbook. You want to think critically about every part of an article. Let's take a moment to consider the common parts of research articles. For most scientific articles, you can expect introduction, methods, results, and discussion. It's a good idea to read the abstract first, then immediately skim the structure of the paper. Are there figures or tables? It's a good idea to look at those up front. Those will give you a very clear idea about what the researchers are trying to measure. Working through the paper, we first get the introduction. This gives context for the research. The authors will attempt to answer some important questions up front. What is known about this topic? What is not known? Most importantly, you will find out what research question the authors will attempt to answer. Be on the lookout for other research that you can cite when the authors are discussing what is known. Authors will usually move from broad, that is the current understanding of the field, to specific, their particular question. Next, we have the methods section. This tells the readers what was done in the study. This is usually very technical and potentially difficult to read. The results section follows. This is a statement of what was found. Visuals, like tables and graphs, will be here. Note the figure and table titles. These are good places to skim up front. The last section will be the discussion. This is the analysis of the results, and it will situate the findings within the broader conversation happening within this area of research. The authors should answer the question of how the results fit in within the broader research literature. They might also point out what questions remain unanswered. Note that this will point you to further avenues for research if you are still looking for a topic. The authors should be able to say whether or not they answered the question they posed in the introduction. As noted before, it is very reasonable to start with the abstract, then view the diagrams or tables when you're deciding to read an entire article. Reading the article might take longer than you think, a lot longer. Be patient and make sure you have lots of time. This will get faster as you gain experience in the subject matter. It is important to be critical of what you're reading. What is the journal and how does it rank? Who are the authors and where does their funding come from? Is there any reason to question their credibility or motivation? Importantly, you need to check for understanding. Ask yourself, what question is this research trying to answer? Why is it important? What terminology or jargon is used, and do you understand it? What are the findings? Is the discussion persuasive? Did the authors miss something? It is up to you to decide if the article you're reading will benefit your own research project.